My relationship with vegetables was not great. My meals, like most Americans, consisted of a massive portion of chicken or beef, a starchy side like potatoes, and an almost comically small portion of some sort of cooked vegetable. So it had always been difficult for me to wrap my mind around the idea of a life without meat, let alone no animal products whatsoever. But being avid rock climbers, we're always looking for something to give us an edge and improve our fitness and energy levels. Climbing is ultimately a strength-to-weight ratio sport, and we were stuck in this endless cycle of going on a diet to restrict our calories, quickly shedding a few pounds, and then getting off the diet only to watch the weight slowly creep back up. You see, the problem with being on a diet is that eventually you'll be off the diet. But in recent years, we started to notice a trend that's been gaining a lot of momentum, with countless Netflix documentaries, YouTube videos, and articles all claiming the same thing. Eating vegan will make you superhuman. In the climbing world, maybe more so than anywhere else, veganism is widely embraced, with athletes like Alex Honnold and Steph Davis eating mostly veggies and sending hard. What attracted us to veganism was the idea of a permanent lifestyle change, a set of rules that, according to the internet, promised weight loss coupled with increased endurance. Could this be the miracle diet for rock climbers? Like anything in life, we just had to try it for ourselves. Our experiment would last 30 days. Over these 30 days, we would eat no animal products whatsoever and conduct daily measurements of common health indicators such as our weight, body fat percentage, average resting heart rate, and blood pressure. We would also conduct weekly check-ins describing our overall energy levels and thoughts about the food we are eating. Finally, to measure the effect of our plant-based diet on climbing performance, we would conduct a general climbing fitness test on day 1, day 15, and day 30. Since we are primarily interested in the effects of veganism on our athletic performance, we'll avoid discussing the ethical implications of a plant-based diet for this video. But before we committed to 30 days of meat-free, we needed to get in one last American classic. Oh my goodness gracious. How am I even supposed to eat this? How was your burger experience?
It was delicious. It had pineapple on it.
Our carnivorous tendencies fully satiated, it was time to go shopping. Alright, it's time to go pick out our fruits and veggies.
We're gonna have to go through the dang. Sorry. We're gonna have to go through the dang line that has baggers that we have to pay.
Why?
We're gonna have more than 15 items.
Grocery shopping week 1 complete. I bought a lot of stuff I've never bought before, like flax seeds and V8 juice.
It's important to have a plan if you're going to try veganism, so we tried to get all of our groceries ahead of time with meals in mind. So this should keep us pretty full and happy for at least a week.
To assess the effects of our vegan diet on our climbing performance, we're going to be conducting a baseline, midway, and final test. In this test, we're going to do 3 exercises. Number 1, we're going to test our maximum strength using a weighted hang on a 20mm edge. Number 2, we're going to test our maximum pull-ups. And number 3, we're going to test our max hang endurance. Okay, it's day 1. We've gotten a good warm-up in, and we're ready to start our initial baseline climbing fitness test with the max weighted hangs from the hang pull-up. Okay. Woo! Owie. The first week went by without too much difficulty. We were having fun looking up new recipes to try, visiting parts of the grocery store we had rarely been to, and eating at vegan restaurants, which were surprisingly abundant. Good? read online that a vegan diet is often deficient in B vitamins, which are present in most meat, but not in vegetables, so we supplemented with a B vitamin complex. I also added in vegan protein powder at the end of my longer workouts to ensure I'd still be getting an adequate amount of protein to recover and build muscle. Before we knew it, we were 7 days in. We're doing a week 1 check-in right now, so how have you been feeling?
Feel not very different, but a little lighter, I guess.
I do feel pretty good. I feel like I have a lot more energy.
Yeah, so far, our food has been pretty good. Cheese has been kind of one thing that's been a little bit missing, but I love cheese, so.
I thought I would have a lot more cravings than I did, but I don't really crave meat or cheese. The thing I do miss is like pastries. After we eat, I don't feel like that super heavy, tired feeling like you get from eating a lot of meat. Switching to plant-based meals kind of opens you up to trying different recipes and things you might not ordinarily try.
YouTube is a great resource.
If anything, it forces you to be more considerate and thoughtful with what you're putting in your body, and I think that's probably the main benefit of it. Heading into week 2, we began to notice a decrease in weight. The interesting thing was, we hadn't even been paying attention to calories. We simply ate when we were hungry and ate until we were full. Since most vegetables are less calorically dense than meat and other processed food, we could eat higher volumes of food while still taking in less calories. We also finally got a chance to climb outside for the first time since going vegan. Climbing felt easy and smooth. We both sent routes we'd been working on for a while. I sent my first 512- since before the COVID lockdowns, and then a strange thing happened. When I had tried the route previously, I kept getting pumped and falling off about 2/3 of the way up. But this time I got to the anchors and didn't feel the slightest bit of fatigue. I lowered off, rested for a couple minutes, and then climbed it again. Could it really be the vegan diet that enabled us to feel this good on the rock? By the end of week 2, it was time for our second fitness test.
Okay, so week 2, 2 weeks in. So far, we've both climbed one of the harder routes that we've ever climbed.
Definitely feel like my endurance has improved, even though the fitness test results that we just didn't really reflect that. We both lost a few pounds.
Just a couple. But I feel like lighter.
I definitely feel a little lighter.
Less like heavy, like, I don't know.
Less bloated, sort of, I guess.
Sleeker, I suppose, is the way to say
Felt.
it. Yeah.
It's been fun discovering new food and cooking new things, and we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah. So
Halfway done.
not too hard. We'll see what comes
It's
up
easy.
the next 2 weeks.
By week 3, we felt like vegan pros. We had a solid repertoire of easy vegan meals, we knew where to get the best avocados, and we were regulars at our local vegan restaurants. The weight loss had slowed a bit, but we were still shedding weight and feeling strong and energetic during our training and climbing. It is just over, it's basically 3 weeks since we started. We've been losing a little bit of weight. We feel pretty good energy, like we don't feel like really heavy, like meals don't sit in us. I felt good during our workouts, our recovery. I've noticed I feel like less muscle soreness and inflammation, like my finger tendons and things like that.
Endurance got a little better.
We've had some awesome new food. We discovered lentils for the first time this week. 3 weeks, we're feeling good. 1 more week to go. There's only so much you can learn on the internet. So as we neared the end of our experiment, we decided it was time to get some expert advice. We turned to Neely Quinn, a full-time climbing nutritionist who runs the website trainingbeta.com and hosts the Training Beta podcast. Neely provides nutritional coaching to all types and skill levels of climbing, and she was kind enough to take the time to educate us. But first, we would have to do some homework. Neely had us log our food for a few days into a food tracker called MyFitnessPal. This was the first time we had taken a close look at the nutrients we were actually getting and the macronutrient breakdown of our carbs, fat, and protein.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are having success with it. A lot of times you're like, well, I went vegan, so it must be the veganism part of it. But a lot of times it's just that you're taking out dairy, and a lot of people have a sensitivity or an intolerance to dairy, and that can make people feel really heavy and bloated. And it sounds like a lot of your grains have been replaced with non-gluten grains, and gluten can also make you feel like heavy and inflamed, and it can keep weight on you if you have any sort of sensitivity to it. To me, it's all about macronutrients and eating foods that your body tolerates in terms of your immune system and your digestion. By virtue of you guys paying attention to your diet, it seems like you've made some really nice choices. So I think that that can be really beneficial for people. But you have to be really on top of your macros, especially as a climber, because as athletes, we need a certain amount of protein, and it's more difficult to get that on a vegan diet. You have to be on top of it. I just really encourage people to listen to their bodies. Like if you feel great, awesome. But if you start to not feel great, like listen to that and make changes.
Talking with Neely was eye-opening. Was it the vegan diet that was making us feel strong and lose weight? Or was it just that we were cutting out dairy or eating less gluten? As we entered our last few days, we took a good look at the data and tweaked our meals accordingly to better balance our carbs and protein. Putting our new and improved vegan diet to the test, we decided to challenge our endurance by attempting to climb 100 pitches in one day. Before we knew it, 30 days were up, and it was time to see the final results of our work. It's time for the most dreaded event of all, the endurance hang. Let's take a look at the data. By the end of 30 days, we had both lost a decent amount of weight, 5.1 pounds for Karina and 2.9 pounds for Jessie. We also noticed a slight reduction in body fat percentage. The other health metrics, blood pressure and resting heart rate, didn't change significantly, but these weren't in an unhealthy range to begin with. We did see significant improvement in our climbing specific strength metrics. Our weighted hang strength increased by 13.9% for Jessie and 33.3% for Karina. Our pull-ups increased by 30.4% for Jessie and 42.9% for Karina. Our endurance hang increased by 7.9% for Jessie and 30.8% for Karina. It's hard to pinpoint an exact cause for our increase in these strength and endurance metrics. For hangboarding strength, one main contributor was likely the fact that we hadn't been doing much hangboarding prior to these 30 days, but we started doing regular hangboard workouts again this month. The other metrics are a little more difficult to explain. We didn't engage in any targeted endurance training, and our pull-up workouts had not changed over the course of the experiment. It could be our slight reduction in weight, but more likely the answer lies in our dialed-in nutrition. Going vegan forced us to become more mindful about what we were eating. We avoided most processed food and stuck to healthy, natural ingredients, which reduced inflammation and improved our workout recovery. This is probably the reason for our increased energy levels as well. The elevated levels of sugar, sodium, and unsaturated fat in processed food, including processed meat and dairy products, provides fast-burning energy that quickly dies out over the course of the day. By eating healthy, plant-based alternatives, we are able to provide our bodies with longer-lasting fuel to get us through our training and reduce inflammation. So what did we learn from all this? Well, we can break our results into 3 basic principles that can be applied universally across any diet, plant-based or otherwise. Number 1, be mindful about what you're eating. If veganism has taught us anything, it's the importance of picking up your food, turning it over, and reading the ingredients. So much of our decreased energy levels and negative moods can be traced back to poor nutrition. The preservatives and other harmful chemicals used in most processed food has a dramatic effect on our body's chemistry, so try to eat healthy, natural food whenever possible. Number 2, if you are trying to lose weight, there are safer and more effective ways than just restricting calories. Simply by dialing in our macronutrients, we can feel full and have more energy while consuming less calories overall. Losing weight doesn't just come down to caloric restriction. What you eat has a far greater effect on weight gain and inflammation compared to how much you eat. Number 3, everyone is different and has different reactions to the food we consume. You may have a sensitivity to dairy or gluten or some of the other chemicals used in processed meat that's causing you to feel bloated and low energy. For this reason, it's important to experiment. Try adding or removing things from your diet and notice how it affects you. Like Neely said, the most important thing is just to listen and pay attention to your body. The bottom line is this. what you decide to put in your body has a huge impact on everything from mood to energy levels to sleep and how well we function every day.
Therefore, it's worth experimenting and finding what works for you. You'll never know until you try it for yourself.
While veganism is certainly not for everyone, it's a great place to start.
If you're interested in trying this experiment on your own, we recommend that you do your own research before jumping in.
We'll put a link down in the description where you can see all of the meals and recipes we use over these 30 days if you'd like to try it for yourself, and I'll also put a link to the Training Beta website if you'd like some more personalized nutrition coaching.
We encourage you to track your health metrics and use some sort of fitness test so you can see how your dietary changes affect your training. Let us know how it goes.